Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! Cornbread! Cornbread!
Drink it in, man.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Detroit Koolaid. Detroit Koolaid drinkers, we are here on day 2. Probably my favorite day of the NFL draft, rounds 2 and 3. The buzz, the excitement has been off the charts for Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams, the wide receiver from Alabama. I'm back here on day 2 to talk all about it, to work the DTO scouting office, to bring up a whole bunch of things that I know you Lions fans are thinking about, talking about out there, and do this. 2 more rounds. Lions got 2 selections. We'll get into this. So, Choppy Chop, I know you're there, buddy. I know you're still excited. What's going on, man?
Hey, Okri. Yeah, happy to be back on the day 2 draft, rounds 2 and 3 tonight. Lions still have a couple picks in the mix here after making a huge splash last night, totally rocking the drafting world, making that ginormous jump up from 32 to 12 to grab my boy, Jameson Williams. Let's call him Williams the third, maybe, for the third time's a charm, Williams. We got this guy. He's on the roster. I cannot wait for this dude to ball out. Have you seen any of his interviews? He looks real excited to be here, too. Right? What?
Yeah. Let's get into that, actually. So we're just hitting record. The second round is just getting going. So kind of what me and Chops are going to do. Hopefully you guys checked it out. We did we did a post show. We had Joey from Believe Podcast Network on. I was able to, in the midst of busyness and work and a crazy Friday, was able to cut some more audio sections from our over 4 to 5 hour recording and threw that out. And I know some of you great, loyal, diehard Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers were saying, oh man, love these live reactions. Like, this is incredible. Chops, I know you enjoyed getting to hear that back. So yeah, man, we're doing that again. It's kind of me and you talking ball. We are going to bring up a lot of topics, players, targets to think about as the pick comes to 46, as well as you just brought up a topic right there, and we flipped out yesterday that the Lions went from 32 to 12, that they traded with the Minnesota Vikings, and it put us in a bind to make the pick. You made the pick of Kyle Hamilton basically for what you would do. I thought the Lions would probably go that direction, but I said I think they should, and I'm going to take Jameson Williams here. And then we freaked out for about 2 hours after when they did. The kid's electric. I mean, he's faster than fast. He's silky. He can route run you. He can cut you up with the way he does things, and I'm still so behind it. I was kind of surprised before we get into some of the other things that I heard today where people are like, I like it, I don't love it, you know, he's a little risky, or other people were like, oh, it's so great they were bold, but it might not work out. I mean, Chops, did you get into any of the, the kind of thoughts today of how they did? I feel like 80 to 90% of Lions fans are excited, but it seemed like I heard from a good percentage that kind of were hemming and hawing, and we'll see, and I'm not sure. And so I'm still high on the player. I do want to get into a little bit about some of him stepping to the mic at this point, but there's little nuggets that still have me totally excited, and obviously with any player, there's still going to be some areas of concern as well. So before I dive into it, what'd you hear today?
Yeah, I mean, look, Okri, we've had this conversation, you and me on many levels about many topics, whether it's sports or in life. You're never going to please anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I could hand somebody $1 million and they could look at me and say, well, you gave that guy $2 million. So, look, you're never going to make everybody happy. I am absolutely ecstatic about this pick. I mean, I think you walked away from this first round with the best edge rush and the best wide receiver in the draft. How can you argue with that? We had 2 picks going in and 2 first-round picks going in. We used 2 first-round picks. They weren't the ones we thought we were going to use, but we used them, and we got the best edge and the best wide receiver. So when healthy. So look, I mean, I'm absolutely ecstatic. Oh, and by the way, you basically, the way I look at it, I know people have broken it down in multiple ways, but the way I look at it is I traded up 20 spots in the first round and I traded up 20 spots in the second round, and all it did was cost me a second rounder. So yeah. I mean, look, like you went from from 66 to 46 and 32 to 12 for the cost of a 34. What more can you ask for? So I think Brad Holmes, like I talked about yesterday, gathered up those assets and made the move. It was bold. It was a guy they needed. It wasn't like, well, we just, there was a run on wide receivers, so we made this because we needed a wide receiver. No. It was there. This was the guy. We made this move for this guy. We weren't making this for Olave. We weren't making this for Wilson. We weren't making this for London. We made it for this guy. And so, look, we're going to find out if it pans out. But I could not be any happier with that move there. And, I think as far as, what the Twitterverse is saying, I think most people are trying to figure out, who snuck a little blue Kool-Aid into the Minnesota Vikings coffee last night, because damn, I think they got fleeced. And I think they're gonna regret watching Mr. Williams III destroy them year after year and twice a year in Minnesota. So no, I'm totally happy. I love it, and I'm ready to get going here in round 2.
Instead of purple drank, it was a little bit of that Honolulu blue there.
Drink it in, man.
Oh, it tastes delicious. And, I mean, you hit on a lot there. I mean, I don't know about this if you're trying to dub him Williams the third nickname based on what Joey brought up, that I guess it is our third Williams wide receiver. I'm not a fan, again, of your nickname selection. I feel like J-Mo is pretty cool. That's kind of part of his Twitter handle. He's got crazy swag. He's one of those guys that... He's just a ball player, man. I don't know how else to put it. Like, when I kept turning on his film, even again today, I couldn't get over the fact of what I was seeing him do on the football field. Now, my only concerns are 2 concerns. One, he's kind of slight, you know what I mean? Which is a guy, usually when a guy can run about 4.2, they are a little bit more slight and slender, so he's got a little bit of that. How is he going to hold up at the NFL level? But I don't like that argument where people always say all these glowing things about a player and say, and if he stays healthy. I mean, that just gets old, right? So I feel that Jameson Williams is going to have to take the pounding of the NFL, but if you can't catch him, if you can't hit it, then you can't hit him. If you can't keep him in front of you, all he's going to do is hit himself into the goalpost, scoring touchdowns. So not a big concern, just think that sometimes you want to see how they bulk up, or if the speed and the game is going to be so good it's not going to matter, like it has for Deshaun Jackson in his prime and some of the other smaller receivers that we see. The only other thing that I've had a little pause on is just yesterday's interview, but then today, I mean, he's very short on his answers. They don't come across to me as, that excited. He threw out a few nuggets where he was kind of like, I just want to get to work and I get to know my teammates. And once we start getting around each other, like, we'll all be cool. And so I think there's something. Maybe he's just, I didn't expect him to go give the State of the Lions address when he got to the podium, but there's something about, you do want not only a great teammate and a guy that's, everybody can kind of galvanize around, but especially on draft day, it's sort of nice to get somebody up like Hutch was, where he just sort of is able to communicate. He's excited. He's glowing about the organization. The organization loves him. Where Jameson Williams, I think it's much more, you could view it as, oh, he doesn't want to be here, or oh, he's kind of frustrated with not being taken high enough, whatever the case is, when really I think he's just one of those guys where it's like, I don't need to see him interviewed at his locker after games. I'm not going to wait for bated breath with that. But once he's healthy, I think he is must watch every time he hits the football field.
Yeah, okay. Look, I mean, look, there's definitely different types of guys, personality wise, in the league. So, some guys are you look at him, he's a high flying, speedy ass wide receiver. So you think maybe the guy's got swag, maybe he's got some sly talk. He's excitable off the field, and he just doesn't come across that way.
Yeah.
And I mean, here's the thing, Okri. If I have to choose. And on one hand, I've got a swaggy, loudmouth, talkity wide receiver who is okay on the field, or I've got a stud, burner, fastest wide receiver in the draft who is a mute. Dude, I'll take the mute all day because I don't care what you say. Win me ball games, make catches. Blow past the secondary, and wave to the fans every once in a while. I give no weight on how flashy a guy is or what he talks about at the podium. Look, some people just aren't that way. So I really could care less about what his personality is on the or off the field. All I care about is that he's catching balls from Jared Goff on the field. He's blowing past secondaries. He's making Minnesota eat their decision twice a year and winning us ball games. That's all I care about.
Yeah, and I'm with you there. I guess you just got to meet me in the middle that I'm not, saying he had to be the most well-spoken, greatest thing. I just want to make sure that he's not only locked in, but I'm thinking he's going to be real cool with his teammates, and some of his teammates could take that more as, man, this guy, like, he doesn't want to talk to me, or he doesn't want to hang, and I'm cool with all those. I am, and see those personalities all over the place, where some people want to tell you their life story and be all gregarious, and other people are just about business or just about getting done what they need to get done. And the final thing we can say on it, because we're about to have the Buccaneers selection here to kick off round 2, is you know what galvanizes you? You know what makes you a fan in the locker room? You know what teammates are like, wow, I love this guy? Guys that make plays, guys that help them win, guys that, like, I feel like Jameson Williams has crazy swag drip that's going to go great with some guys, and anybody that's on the border is going to just, after they see him in practice and see him in ball games, be like, yeah, I like that guy. I like him a lot, and fans will as well. So, we could kind of put that to bed. You brought up Nakobe Dean, so we might as well just go there, because before we actually hit the record button, we got into some fun topics about who's out there, positions of value, what you think is important on your side of the GM ledger, where I'm putting my chips right now as far as what I'm looking at. So Nakobe Dean, we might as well just start there. Lots of chatter again about, see, if you would have stayed at 32, you could have got Hutch, you could have got Scene, and you could have got Nakobe Dean here with this pick that's going to be made, maybe. Oh, nope, it won't be made by the Vikings. The Packers are now on the clock, so,
What? It looks like the Vikings are still drinking something there that's a little stronger than coffee. Trading the 34th pick for the 53rd and the 59th to the Green Bay Packers. Again, another in-division trade. So I'm telling you right now, this pick is for Kyle Pickens.
George Pickens?
No, Kyle. I like Kyle. Don't call him Kyle, please.
Okay. Kyle Pickens it is, as well as Watson is out there, or how I better should say it the right way. Christian Watts. I could see it, but like, as much fun as we had yesterday, and then Joey bagged on him as well, wouldn't you just love like another random like defensive tackle or a backup corner like Roger McCreary here? That would be very fun.
It'd be hilarious if they grabbed, Nakobe Dean right here. I love that player, but I'd start laughing pretty hard here if they did that.
Oh,
get him another defensive player.
As funny as that is, we don't want them taking a guy you like, others like, and that we might want on our team. Like, have them take the corner from Washington, who's a good player, Kyler Gordon here. Where it's like, they will tell you why corners are so important, and we're like, good, we didn't want him anyway. That would be ideal, but trade up.
My goal is that they just take only defensive players to just piss off Aaron Rodgers as much as possible, because
Maybe they'll go with the all-world punter, Matt Ariza here. That would be a good selection. Anyway, let's forget the Packers. Get back to Nakobe Dean. We'll see who they select. Like, you seem real high on him. You're like, I want him at 46. I put him in at 32 at my final mock of Don't Overthink It, that I put out on Twitter at Derek Oakery. But now I'm second guessing. I feel like there's a lot of linebackers that I wouldn't mind. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like him, and I think he's first round talent. I think he was clearly the second best linebacker. If you could walk away coming out of the first round with the best edge, the best wide receiver, and the second best linebacker with your first 3 picks, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So, I signed me up for that for sure.
So one thing that keeps sticking out to me is that whole only met with Detroit thing. There it is, Watson. You figured. So I wanted Christian Watson. I didn't even think about it, but the 49ers, somebody said like, oh, it'd be cool if he went to the 49ers and paired up with Trey Lance, but that's not going to happen. Christian Watson's a good player. I mean, we'll have his good kid too, so that's tough that he's in our division now, but it is what it is. So, Nakobe Dean only met with the Lions. He's slipping. People continue to pass on him. Like, I don't know why someone that hasn't met with him, he obviously didn't run. He didn't do anything after. You basically would be taking him blind off of tape or off of what he did, which is fine because everybody knows that was incredible. But don't you think it's pretty plausible, even though it's, what are we, like 10, 12 picks away, however many it is from the Lions? Like, I could see him just keep not being taken, and then maybe it be an easy decision for Detroit because tape's there, they met with him. Maybe it's a done deal. I don't know.
I just can't figure out why this many teams would pass on him that far, let him fall that far. But again, man, if it happens, like, yeah, dude, jump on it. So
I can't figure out why he has questions about speed, size, all the athleticism and whatnot, but has great tape and didn't meet with anyone. It feels like he should have met with probably, 31 other teams other than the Lions is what it would seem like, so everybody could gather intel, talk to him, figure out if he's healthy, figure out, maybe why he's not testing. But the fact that he had one visit is very odd to me.
Yeah, that is very odd. I don't really understand. I mean, is that teams that wanted to meet with him, or that was like he met with? I don't really understand that. Like, where does that come? Like, he schedules that meeting, or teams schedule that meeting for him? So did teams just sour on him and they're like, no, forget it, or he just like declined to have these meetings with teams, or what? Like, how does that whole thing work?
Yeah, that's the question too. Maybe he was just like, I don't want to meet with anybody, but for some reason he wanted to meet with the Lions. Maybe the Lions were like, hey, we want to take you. I really don't know. But so that's your guy. I'm in the boat of if he's there, it's going to be hard to pass on him, but he's not I have to have him or else because of some other linebackers that are there, as well as, just me wanting Petrie with this pick. That's where I'm at. I know we didn't give people a total primer, but go through a couple of your target names as well as this board is falling, like best case scenario, and then I'll give that to the people too before we get too close.
Yeah, I mean, guys that I'm looking at here, I love. Let me get my board up here because again, I've got like 50. I'm trying to keep the sheet updated here, but. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm loving me some Andrew Booth. I like, there's a handful of guys here. So I like Andrew Booth. I like Petrie. I like Brisker. I would be super on board if we went with, I like myself some Troy Anderson too, man. So, I am really looking at, there's a handful of corners, safeties, and linebackers that's my key target. Chad Muma, I'm a big fan of that. I mean, we're moving back a little bit. I'm actually a big fan of Nick Cross as well from Maryland. I think he's got some potential, but I think what we do with that pick there will also then turn around and dictate what we do at 97, because there are some names out there where people go best player available, right? Like, I get that. But, if Ajabo's there, how do you pass on Ajabo when he's first round talent by far? Can we afford to take him and then sit and wait while he gets healthy, knowing he's just going to come back and be a beast and run the Michigan boys on the edge for 5 more years, 4 years when healthy? That's a hard decision to make, but it's something I could see them doing.
Yeah, it's all good stuff from you. I know before we hit record here and got rolling, like, we talked through some of that stuff, and I'm in agreement with most of that. I mean, for me, Roger McCreary just went off the board to the Titans. It's like another player I like. I'm curious to see how he does in the league. It's not a guy that crushes me that he ended up going, but it was a corner if they want to go that route that I considered. So, when I look at my short board, at least that's left, I do have Petrie up top. I did put Dean after that based on name value, need at linebacker, production in college, but also I got some, we'll see. We'll see how we feel if he's on the board and he's there. I'm still a little undecided. Brisker's a guy you've liked a lot. He's on my radar, but Petrie just as a kid and not saying that Brisker's not a good guy, but Petrie's versatility and just some of the things, the way he approaches the game is something that I took to a lot. So I do have Brisker in that mix if they want to go safety. Malik Willis is on my list, Choppy. I know I put out kind of a hot take saying that if he's there at 40, where we at 46, that it'd be hard to pass on, or don't you take him. I've cooled on that a little bit just because, yes, it would be hard to pass, but I mean, is this what I'm doing or what the Lions are doing? Because Oakrey thinks that at 46, based on what we did, I can get a swaggy quarterback that I can bring along for a year under your boy Goff, and if your boy stumbles, he takes the reins and balls out, is something I'd really strongly do. But thinking about what the Lions are doing, they seem very set on Goff. So he's in the middle, top 4 of my possibilities. Ojabo is there for the reasons you mentioned. Boye Mafe would be an aggressive double dip where you're like, hey, I know we took a rusher, but Boye Mafe is a madman. I'm going to take him too. I don't see them thinking like corner is a very big need, but there's a few good ones out there that you brought up as well. Christian Harris is intriguing just based on Brad Holmes loving athleticism and Christian Harris being ridiculous, run and hit type crazy linebacker that has a lot of time on the field. So if I'm looking at positions, to me, safety's a little bit more thin. I only really like those top 2 guys before I start getting into that other tier of players, which, again, I like Nick Cross. I do like, the kid Kirby or whatever from Syracuse, I think he is, but I feel I can wait and see how that falls. Linebacker, or I don't think I can wait, so I'm probably going to take one of those 2. Linebacker, I do think I could wait it out. Obviously, I think they're sort of done at receiver. There are some good receivers still out there. And will they take an Ajabo and say, hey, get yourself healthy, team up the Michigan boys again and roll with our other rushers and really try to get after quarterbacks? I mean, I think that's a very aggressive approach that I don't know that they will do, but I wouldn't not do it because you need people to rush the quarterback. If you got 5, you need 6. If you got 6, I would probably consider 7, that type of thing.
Yeah, I get it. And Oakrey, I feel like you started that whole segment trying to goat me with, about Malik Willis. So, dude,
Did it work?
It didn't work. I'm just so past that. Like,
oh, Breece Hall.
It didn't goat me at all. Jets just took Breece Hall, so that the people know what's going on in the background. Can I get a quick rant? Jets traded up.
Can I get in a quick rant before you do a rant? Because that brings me to one that I just want to do. I'll do it quickly. Bryce Hall to the Jets, I don't like because I like Michael Carter, who they took last year. What I really don't like is the people I had to listen to today saying how the Lions need to get Kenneth Walker. Hello? I don't care how good. What are you going to get Kenneth Walker and then never play DeAndre Swift? Oh, well, DeAndre Swift, he's hurt all the time. Okay, what if he's not hurt? Now you have 3 good running backs? You're just going to spread it around to 3 guys? You're gonna make Kenneth Walker the workhorse, and then Swag and Swift going to sit over there and drink Gatorade? No, that's horrible. That's fantasy football garbage. That's these people, let's get a Sparty. I loved them in college. Okay, well, that's great. We don't need to take another high second round running back, you idiots. Like, I had to hear that from multiple shows today. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to go on about the people that said it necessarily, but the fact that they had to think about all this just because he was a good player. Wow, he was good in college. Okay, well, we have a dynamic player at running back. He's number 32. His name's DeAndre Swift. We also have a great counterpart in Jamal Williams. We also have a rookie we took last year who has some juice and ability. You know what else we also have? Craig. Craig can make plays. Okay, I'm done. I don't want to get all riled up. Go back to your quarterback rant, your Jared Goff love, but I had to get that off my chest with running back going and people actually thinking the Lions should take a running back. No.
Yeah, no, just totally ridiculous. Look, Kenneth Walker's a great talent, but we just don't need any running backs. I don't know what you do with them there. So those people can. But that's the Sparty slappies. Here's Houston up at the board.
Jalen Petry's gone. Son of
a... they took your boy Petrie. Well, hey, look, Oakrey, they live to fight another day.
It happens. That was the one guy. Everybody else on my list that I named off was kind of like, they go, no big deal. But him and I guess Nakobe Dean were my top 2 that you kind of at least want to be there so you can make a decision, but that's all right. Go ahead.
Look. Yeah, you're still looking for me. I'm still looking at Brisker. I'm still looking at Dean. I'm still looking at a couple of guys there. Oakrey, do we want to just shock the world and take Trey McBride with this pick?
You do.
Take the first tight end. Do we want to take the first tight end off the board?
You want to do that. The Lions don't want to do that. I like Trey McBride, but I don't want to do that unless it's fantasy football, which it's not. So no.
All right. You just having 2 dynamic tight ends is just awful, right? It's not.
It's not fantasy, awful. The Lions don't do it. The Lions do not play double tights, especially when they just went big on Jameson, Chark. You already got Hawkins, and you just paid Hawkinson a little bit on his. So it's like that guy's not gonna see the field a ton. Do I still want a guy that can either catch or block or both at some point in this draft? Sure, but I don't need a guy that. We're not running the Patriots too tight system. We're not running a big heavy set. We're definitely trying to get the ball down the field now, and tight ends are kind of, you look at their numbers. A good tight end's like a 600-yard player with some touchdowns. Give the ball to Jameson Williams and let him go for 1,200 and electrify in the next few seasons. That's what I'd do.
Yeah. No, I get it. There's only so many bodies you can get a ball to, which is, speaking of which, I want to talk a little bit about how crazy it is that everybody just keeps forgetting that Josh Reynolds is on this team, right? Like, we signed Chark to a 1-year, $10 million deal, and every lineup that I've got has, oh my gosh, we've got Williams, Chark, and Amon-Ra. And I'm like, bro, do you not realize that our passing game did not even start clicking or doing anything until Josh Reynolds got put on this team and dictated some coverage? So don't just forget about Josh freaking Reynolds on this team. Yes, I understand. We have 4 wide receivers, and we run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. But, Reynolds just doesn't disappear and go from, like, the guy who dictated coverage to, like, not even on the roster or worth mentioning, by the way. He also happens to be 27, the same age as Jared Goff, which everyone else continues to forget that's still on our team, and want to talk stupid bula about what if Malik Willis is there at 46? I don't give a rat's hairy ass if Malik Willis is there at 46. I don't even want to hear Malik Willis's name. Stop doing the mock-ups on the Twitterverse.
What up, Malik?
Putting him in the Honolulu Blue. Stop doing all this ridiculous nonsense with him there. I don't want to see it. Don't need to see it.
All right, I figured.
So there's my little rant, and it looks like the Giants just traded out to the ATL Falcons, so maybe they moved up to take Malik, so I can be done with this talk.
40s, so we are 6 selections for the Lions pick. So let's dig into this deeper.
We're at 40.
Man.
We got let's break it down here. We got Seattle going back to back at 40-41. We got the Colts at 42. We got the Falcons at 43. We got the Browns at 44. The Ravens at 45, and then drumroll please, Lions at 46. If there are no trades, which there's already been 6 in this round.
Hey, let's not worry about. I don't care who the teams are. I care about. I just counted my players on my short stack, and I got 8 players staring me in the face. So if we go straight up down, worst case scenario right now is Mafe or Booth for me. The way I have my short stack going. So this is what I normally do in regards to. I know I'm getting one of those players. And if a lot of them don't go, it makes the decision a bit harder. But, right now, or at least when you get closer, it's much more just don't take any of those guys on the 6. Did you
say Booth got drafted by the Titans there, Boss?
No, he didn't. McCreary went to the Titans. Roger McCreary, the guy that eats beans all day.
What? I thought it was Booth. My bad.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
That was my breaking news.
You might need to fact check it, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw because I put him up there and Booth. Remember, I thought Booth would go to Bills in round 1, but he didn't go and he hasn't went yet that I've seen. So, he's not a guy that I want. He's at the bottom of my stack. I only have him there based on ranking and talent, really. So, let me look over the rest of my board. I know you brought up Trey McBride for you. The Lions, if they had not taken a top receiver, you'd be looking at Sky Moore maybe still being available, Mechie, David Bell, Tolbert, and then you get a little deeper into my guys, Wandale and Cal. But I basically have written that position off. We just went into big about the quarterbacks. I do not want Matt Corral. I do not want Sam Howell necessarily. Ritter or Malik, I would justify and be okay with, but I'm going to go with you, Chop, that I would keep Goff, see what he does, go from there, unless they love one of the 2 guys I just mentioned. I'm looking over the other positions. I've heard some people say, we got to get Travis Jones, he's a beast. Same people that don't realize that you really can't play with 2-3 nose tackles on the field at one time. It just doesn't make any sense, but he's a good player, but we already filled that.
What? Why can't we have 2 nose tackles? That'd be awesome, Ogre. We can't have 2 of them?
No one would ever run on this. This is the kind of stuff I have to hear, and I'm like, you guys just don't understand that every once in a while you can get kooky with that kind of stuff, but on the surface, it's like, do you buy a car one year and then go get another car? No, because you already have a car. Come on, fucking idiot.
Well, that's not a good analogy because you can never have too many cars if you got the money.
Ooh, Boye to Seattle. I like that fit. That's a Seattle type guy because Boye Mafe is either going to be incredible or be a guy that looks like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing for the first couple of years. That's how he plays. So that's the kind of guys they get, and they hope they figure it out.
He's raw. He's definitely raw. He's a Seattle guy. I think that actually fits real well. You can't question his intangibles. 6'4", 261. He's an animal, but yeah, he could be a reckless animal too. So
let me ask you this: Did you watch any Jameson Williams highlights today? They're showing highlights of Mafe right now.
Just a couple, yeah.
Were you as blown away as I told you would be? Because this is not a guy we spent a ton of time on because we never thought we would be in the mix or that we would get the best receiver. Here's the other thing. Here's another half rant for you. People today that I kept hearing acting like, he's arguably the best receiver in this draft. Oh, he's a top 3 receiver in this draft. There was no question by any of the major experts that it was Jameson Williams as a player and when healthy, and then everybody else quite a bit below him, in regards to speed, just the plays he makes, the upside he has. The only reason I had him, I think, 2 on my wide receiver board is because of the injury and because I felt like the Lions would maybe be in the Olave / late receiver mix that we're talking about. The the Pickenses of the world, but instead they went up and got this kid. So what is the revisionist history? Now he's what, the third or fourth receiver? I mean, he went off fourth, but I haven't seen one person that knows what they're talking about be like, oh, he's maybe like the third or fourth best guy out there. No. So tell me you saw the one where he cuts the guy off the line, he gets up to full speed, then he goes okey doke with a little double hitch, and then he runs by Lewis Seen like he's in quicksand. Tell me you saw that one.
Yeah, I may or may not have spent the entire day watching Jameson Williams highlights all day. And I think my favorite one is where he cuts up the seam, he throws his hands in the air like he's going to make a catch, and the corner just stops and turns, and then he just turns on the burners, diagonal up across the field, and just catches it for like I think it was like a 78-yard touchdown. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's our new wide receiver weapon. That's it.
And I don't know if that's the same one because he has so many of these highlights, because I love the one where he runs about a 5-yard shallow cross, catches the ball with a guy kind of close to him, and then runs down and around the sideline and passes about 6 other defenders and houses it for a 50-plus yard touchdown. Like, that's another one of my favorites. Not as crispy as the triple move, cut you off the line, but just running away from people on a 5-yard toss is something I very much enjoyed watching. So, and everybody out there listening, Kenneth Moore is gone, so you can suck it, okay? He went to Seattle, which is a great fit, and now I don't have to worry about it.
Kenneth Walker is gone. Kenneth Walker is gone. You don't have to hear about it anymore.
Thank goodness. What did I say? Did I not say Kenneth Walker?
I think you said more, but that's all right. We knew what you meant. You said what you meant, and you meant what you said.
Kenneth Walker, he gone.
Kenneth Walker, he gone, which means the Lions are in 5 picks. So I know Oakley thinks it doesn't matter what teams are ahead of you, but man, I think it does. Do the Falcons go quarterback? That would be great for us to leave some of that there. Man, dude, we're getting so close to you know what's going to happen, though? The Ravens are going to snag up Nakobe Dean right in front of us. That's what I'm saying is going to happen, and I'm going to be a little sad. But then I'm just going to double up with my boy and get Brisker. That's what I'm going to do. But it's down to those two for me, Oak. Give me Dean. Give me Dean or Brisker.
Yep. Jabo to me is that'd be another ballsy play. I feel like that's a Brad Holmes saying, I told you I had a plan. My plan is to take the top players at premier positions, even if I got to wait a little bit. Sheila's fine if we wait. I'm fine if we got to wait. But when the wait's over, look out. So he's in the mix for me.
Here's why I think this is why I think the Colts excuse me. I think the Colts take a Jabo right here because they're solid there. They can afford to let him sit and wait, but when he's healthy, he's a freak. So I think the Colts go Ojabo, or maybe even the Browns looking to replace Jadeveon Clowney once Ojabo's healthy. But I can't see Ojabo falling to us. But man, maybe he could.
The only reason, too, that I say if he's there you consider is because we have Hutch. Like, it's the double, it's the combo meal. It's the pairing him with his buddy. They know each other. It's that Hutch can take care of him and bring him along as a football player, because I think he still does have some growing to do, in regards to learning more about the game and growing and all that kind of stuff. So with his boy there, I think they could do some serious damage. If we don't have Mr. Hutchinson, I wouldn't be as on board with the injury and whatnot. So,
Oakley, you know what? I want to put a nice little bow on our last conversation that we just had. How are all those people who were screaming Malik at 2 feeling right now? The guy is still available 40 picks later. How are those people feeling?
It's not a great feeling, but it's. We often see this, either with QBs or a player or two. So he's one of those 2 players. It doesn't mean he's not going to be good in the league. It doesn't mean that you might not look back and say, wow, you got him where? And look at him now. I mean, that could be the situation too, which would bite everybody in the ass that is thinking there's something wrong with him. He might just need to go to the right situation now. So,
yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying he's not going to be good in the NFL. I just think it was funny that we were, we a lot of people were willing to use a premium pick on him, and he's still here at 42, and maybe he goes to the Vikings.
Could see Okwebo Mensa, the new, probably totally butchered that name, but their new GM could be and he's got time. He could take a guy like Ojabo for sure. So,
yeah, he could go Ojabo, but they're still, Minnesota's on the clock now instead of Colts, so they made a trade there.
So I know you're working the sheet, but try to remind me because I'm gonna get on my Twitter sphere. I gotta make.
Here you go. We got the 42nd pick trade and the 122. So 42 and 122 for 53, 77, and 192. That's the Colts and the Vikings. So more trades. Just
more
like
trades.
shots. More trades.
So getting back to our Lions pick, like you say, I think I'm going to stack it. I'm just going to have my 4 sitting there, and I'm going to have to make a choice because I think it's Dean, Brisker, Willis, and Ojabo for me in regards to value and positions of need and what I want to do. So that's kind of probably what I'm going to pick from here.
I don't hate it.
I think if we're co-GMing and sort of getting on the same page, I feel like the safest and probably most slam dunk is the Jaquan Brisker pick because he was picked by a lot of folks at the early second round. He's still there, 6'1", 210, played big in college. He not as, I don't know if he's a thumper or a playmaker or really what he is, but I know I liked his game when I watched him, so I feel like he's a guy that could be taken that everybody would pretty much be on board with. It's not the ballsy play necessarily, but I think it's a very nice move at this point.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's just a sound safety, right? Like, he's just sound all around. 6'1", 199. He's 23, so a little bit older. I think he's just a mature, sound safety who could really kind of even out and lock up that position with Tracy, going forward. So
Minnesota's not taking him because they have Harrison, and they also took Scene, so they're going to go no safety. Let's look at Atlanta. Does Atlanta have a safety need?
Yeah, Atlanta's got a safety need. Atlanta needs everything, dude. Atlanta's terrible. Sorry.
True.
Sometimes I don't have a filter. Atlanta could use a safety, but I think they got to go quarterback or I think they might go quarterback there, man. They just went edge. That was their big one. So
I agree with you too. I feel like Nakobe Dean is a Ravens guy where it's just like, we just sat here and he's sitting. We'll take him, and he ends up being real good.
Look what they did by just sitting there and who they got at 14. We're just sitting here and hey, look, Kyle Hamilton fell in our lap. Great. Yeah. Oh, hey, look, Nakobe Dean. Cool. We'll take that guy too. Like, yeah, these guys just fall to them. I don't know. How does this happen every dang year? The Ravens just sit back and everybody falls to them. It's crazy to me.
And they don't do smartest guy in the room, though. They take a lot of the media players and they all end up being good in that system with those people they have around it. And I got another side tangent we need to get to, which is Lions coaching staff, just the absolute love that I have for them and that players seem to have for them. It's incredible. It's getting out of control, to be honest. So, but you brought up Kyle Hamilton. If he went to the Ravens, that marks the Ravens off as no safety need because they got other players that are there as well. I can't see them double dipping. That's not really what they do necessarily. Nope. So if Atlanta doesn't take him, Cleveland has a couple safeties, so I feel like Brisker's going to be there.
Yeah, Brisker will be there. I think Dean's going to fall or hit the Ravens. I think Brisker's our guy at 46. So let's see what happens here with the Vikings, Falcons, and Browns. But
let's get it straight though. If Dean and Brisker are there, what are you doing? Because I'm not taking. I'm doing my plan that I told you earlier. There's still a lot of good linebackers. I'm going to go with Jaquan Brisker, and I'm going to pass on the Kobe Dean and hope it doesn't bite me in the ass. And I'm going to get Troy Anderson, Muma, some of the other backers that are out there later.
I think for me, I'm looking there's a big safety drop off after Brisker. I like Cross, but to me there is a pretty big drop off after Cross, so I'd have to take the safety there. I would. The linebacker position is always deep.
You said you wanted Dean no matter what. Now you're changing it up. Got to be sure, buddy.
I didn't think he was going to be there. I didn't think he was going to be there, to be completely honest. But gosh, he's such a good talent. But man, but again, we could talk a little bit about like, why is he still there? What's happening? Like, our teams didn't just forget the guy existed, right? Like,
yeah.
So another corner went off the board, Andrew Booth to the Vikings.
Right.
So again, the Vikings realize that now they're going to have to cover the Lions' crazy ass offense that we're going to have running all over the field, and they decide they need a corner because we're going to be throwing the ball all over.
They always need or think they need corner. They also we're going to have to deal with Lewis Cine, but I mean we already saw how Jameson Williams dealt with him on a game day. The Giants are now on the clock, making a pick at 43. I told you it might get crazy with this, Choppy. I mean, every other pick, like you say, is somebody different. So this is how the draft goes these days.
I mean, look,
they just lost Peppas, but they Wandale. That's a crazy pick. I mean, unless you're getting rid of Kadarius Toney, it's the same guy. Well, it's not. Kadarius Toney is better, but you know what I mean. It's another gadget catching jiggerbug type guy. But I love Wandale. That's is that
officially who they took, Oak?
Yep, 43. Wandale Robinson, right. Wide receiver.
Sorry, so I got 50 things going on here. I'm trying to give takes. I'm trying to update the board, and then we're making trades and then announcing players all at the same time. So it's getting crazy here in the choppy office. Yep. And then I got to find it. There he is. All right, Wandale. Wow, that's a bit of a reach for me, but okay.
Yep. I'm also behind on some picks over here, moving while we're chatting. But I also need to remember, you don't have to give me a total reminder, but I'm going to make my Oak Creek Dynasty pick as well for that team I've been building for the last however many years, trying to just take, like from scratch. So yesterday I've been going with Hutch and, Jameson Williams, my two picks for that. I had some openings, and that just makes sense because we were so busy on other stuff. But I could use a tight end or a running back or a corner there as well. So we'll see what I do.
Tight end. Man, you might have to. Yeah. Oh, baby. All right. Here we go. It's coming up. It's coming up. I think another wide receiver going there. Man, I'm just looking at I got so many boards up too, but George Pickens is still up there, man. Oh,
because he's a misfit. I didn't know till late in the process because you told me how great he was. Nobody wants to deal with Mr. Pickens.
Man.
That's the thing, man. Like, the Lions made their big swing. They went, just as I said about not double dipping on nose tackles. You can't, even if the value's crazy, it's not good business to go do that again and just say, I'll just take George Pickens. We'll figure it out. I mean, I know there's a couple teams in the league that do that, but I don't want to be one that every year is taking just skill player after skill player with no regard to anything else. I think we already chatted about that. So,
yeah, Houston just traded with the Browns, so they're at 44 now. This could be quarterback, thinking that, I don't know. Why would they want to jump there to get to quarterback? So who knows, man? It's a total crapshoot.
All right, I'm queuing up my Okri on the clock pick here for the Twitterverse. I know I was nowhere to be found yesterday. I tried to make up for it a bit today. People loved our audio, but it's hard to do it all, I must say.
How can you queue up our pick when it's still 3 away? What if Houston comes in here and takes it from you?
Then I'll change it to somebody else. But I got to type the sucker out, man. I got to get the hashtags. I got to get Brisker in there as my pick. I mean, I'm pretty set on that. I think we are taking a gamble with now you're moving off to Kobe Dean as well. It's one of those that we wanted it basically for 3 picks now, if you think about it, because we were picking at 32, 34, and now we're way past that, and he's still there. I mean, Not only gamble to pass, but it's sort of, dude's going to get taken, and he didn't forget how to play ball, so very intriguing. I think you pass him here. I mean, obviously you're not getting him at 97. I can say that with assurance. So you either do it now or you don't do it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree, but I think there's more linebackers out there that we can look at 97, so I'm sticking with my Brisker pick if he's there, so... Right. We'll see. I mean, the Ravens could do something, surprise us too, even though they've got some. Actually, no, they already took Hamilton, so they're not going to be taking another safety. I highly doubt that. So, who knows what Houston just snuck in here to do though, because they just traded and they already had it up. They need everything.
They lost a big safety and the Reed kid that was there. He went to Kansas City, I think. So, they also lost a linebacker too, right? And, oh, by the way, they also don't have a quarterback, so... And Nick Caserio's there, who's from New England, who probably is like, I can get Nakobe Dean here? I mean, I know I don't want to be the guy that says that with every pick, but we're thinking for the Lions here that these guys got to be seeing what we're seeing, that the boards aren't surprises. So, I mean, like I say, I'm looking at 6-7 names I still got up, so if both our guys go, I still got a guy in my back pocket I like.
Well, yeah, I mean... That's what a good GM
you're
does.
making me take Ojabo here. Oh, no. I mean, not the end of the world.
Yeah. I could see Ojabo going to Ravens, too, if Houston jumped up here to grab Dean.
Yeah.
But the pick is in for Houston, and they are going to select a guy. Roger comes to the podium.
I don't know where you're at on the video, but I have it over here.
All right, John Mechie. They went for a wide receiver, Alabama.
There it is, which I know you do it in fantasy football too, but like the fact that they're taking a guy that we have a receiver basically written off is great. You know, those are the kind of things I root for when it gets down to the nitty gritty like this. So we got Brisker, we got Dean, we got Ojabo on the board, Christian Harris, Malik, Ritter. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of good options. I think the Lions are thinking they see glaring needs at needing bodies at safety. I could see them loving Nakobe Dean at this value and being like, you're our middle linebacker, captain of the defense, and Derek Barnes, you're on the outside, and you're also going to rush the passer, which I tweeted out a while ago saying I'd like to see him rush more. And then Anzalone is inside, outside, kind of that mentor vibe. I could see it.
Yeah, do we want to go what we would take and what we think the Lions are going to take? I mean, we could do a little bit of that. So, you know.
Choppy, you're live on mic, so you can do whatever you want, but I'm trying to just accomplish the tasks I have at hand, which is keeping up. You're working the sheet. I'm going to make the Oakley pick on the clock for the Lions based on their current roster, and I'm doing my dynasty pick. So it's basically Trey McBride for me for my dynasty. Your boy. I'll plug him in at this point. And then Brisker for my on the clock. And again, I've already taken safeties, corners, other positions for my dynasty. So tight ends seem to be glaring. Go ahead and get that kid right now. Like you say, top guy at the position and see how he pans out.
Yeah, Ravens are still on the clock, and they're actually going to use some clock here. What are we doing here? There's a guy on the phone. He's calling his player's mom. Now they hand it over to the coach. Goes to the GM. No, all right, sorry. Okay, so Okri, you've called it here. You're making your Okri Lions pick is Brisker, huh?
I'm just taking another peek at that in my dynasty. But my dynasty needs are running back.
No one cares about your.
It's interesting, man. It's building a team from scratch based on guys that are available. So every other spot I need, I don't see anybody big. So for the Lions, we already worked through it. I mean, I don't love passing on Nakobe Dean here if he's there, but I feel like it's the most prudent play. No, people are going to hate that out there.
Okri, is all right, so I have a feeling the Lions are not going to take Dean or Brisker. because that's who we want them to take. They've got something else up their sleeve.
That's the old style of thinking. Brad Holmes basically takes ball players. So back in the day, it'd be some guy we never heard of that they don't have footage of.
I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying he's taken, like he's not taking some guy who's a third round value, like the kid from, a D2 school. But I don't know, man. Brad Holmes he's smarter than me. So I'm trying to think. Oh man. Dude, well, we gotta let the Ravens pick here, man. There's so many good. There's still so many good players on the board.
It's not worrying. Like, that's why I don't want to do what the Lions will do necessarily, because yes, you can try to predict it, but it doesn't necessarily matter. Like, we already went through this quarterback decision, so I feel that they could take a quarterback, and some people are going to love it, and some are just going to be like, I can see that, but I don't know that anyone hates it necessarily. And Malik's by far the top ranked player on our sheet, so what they're going to do, I don't know, but we already went through that exercise, so we're not taking a QB.
Maybe your sheet. He wasn't on my sheet. Wait, why does this say Lions selection? It's Baltimore that's selecting. This is NFL. Get your stuff together. They get the Baltimore logo and say Lions.
NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens select David Ojabo.
There you go.
Linebacker.
There it is.
Ojabo. So now we don't have to worry about that either, because it was taken off our plate for us. So.
Yeah. No, I thought, like I said, I mean, we talked about Ojabo and we talked about Nakobe Dean. Those were the two who we thought they could go there. So
let's make it known too. Hey, NFL, don't ever think you're going to call Brad Holmes when he gets on the clock, because he already had the pick in before they went and before they could get the graphic off. So he's not waiting around for phone calls. You either call him ahead of time or nothing. So Ojabo's gone to a great organization. He'll get healthy and then he'll be a monster. We know how that goes with Baltimore.
Yep, I'm happy for him. I like, Ojabo. That's a good kid. I felt so bad that he got hurt on his pro day. That was just sad to see. But
I just want to say the people out there that are just pounding their hearts and TVs for Malik or Nakobe Dean, or looking through the list here. There was that buzz about Drake Jacksons of the world, and everybody knows Christian Harris. It's like, I can see everywhere you're going, but I am going with what we talked about. It's like the draft meetings. You've already been through it. I'm going with it.
No, I'm selecting Brisker as well. That's my pick for who it should be, because I just like the depth at linebacker a little bit better. So yeah, no, I mean, it is hard. I will say it's hard to pass on a Georgia stud, Nakobe Dean, but man, I just like the depth at linebacker. I think we're going to be able to get one at 97 if we really like one. And I just think Brisker's the guy. So.
Talked you into it. I feel like if we weren't on here, you were pretty set with Nakobe, which is not a bad pick. I'm not here saying that I feel like if you took Nakobe in here that's some reach, or he's medically hurt, or he can't play. But I feel like when we started our call, that was your pick, and now you've changed around, which is fine. I mean, I could have went the other way too, based on what we talked about. Here it is. Lions pick, second round, 46 overall. Get the audio. Come on, Brad Holmes. Get us another safety.
What's going on?
Oh, Keegan.
With the 46th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Josh Pascal, defensive end, University of Kentucky.
Oh my. Okay.
What?
Yeah, he was a guy that I heard a lot of buzz about, that people love, that I wasn't very high on. I moved him. I think he's on the Oak Creek rankings if you look at him as a second tier, just because of what I had heard. But I heard really good things. Let's put it that way, Choppy. But he wasn't a my guy, that's for sure.
So, fun times with Keegan-Michael Key making the choice. When we come back, Washington, Chicago, New Orleans, Kansas City.
They double dipped on the edge.
More to come on a Friday night in Vegas.
Tonight after the
15 plus tackles for loss and 6 sacks, it looked like it said. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I don't understand that pick at all. Hey, welcome to Detroit, but I don't understand that pick at all. But hey, they know these guys better than we know them. They spend the time with them. They see them at the Senior Bowl. They do all the inside info and get their work done. But I don't understand that pick to me at all. I mean, he wasn't even my next rank, D lineman. So, I mean, he said he wants to build in the trenches. That guy, I said he's a D line, but he's on the edge. So hey, let's get it going.
Where I'm just trying to see. I know we used like some other rankings, as our default. Like, do you see him? Did you find him yet?
Yeah, we had him at like 69
as an edge.
We had him as an edge. Yeah, we had him as an edge at 69. But he was even further down your board than he was mine. I mean, I like the guys I had ahead of him. Nick Bonito from Oklahoma, Kingsley from South Carolina. I can never say the guy's last name. I won't butcher it. And Drake Johnson. I had them all ahead of him. But again, 6'3", 278, senior. Let's go.
I guess, what I remember hearing about him is, he's got big rush upside. I want to say people very late in the process had him late round 1, early 2. So it's not a reach from that perspective, in regards to what others were saying or what I was hearing. But I just remember seeing him on a lot of my sheets and thinking like, I don't even remember if I pulled up any of his highlights or anything, because I was just like, I don't really love Pascal, as a player from what I had read about. But he did get late buzz, and I know there's people high on him. So Brad Holmes.
Well, hey, I mean, look, he played in the SEC, so he played against the big boys. That's a big thing for me. I'm reading up a little bit on him. He's 6'4", 268. He's senior. They say he uses his leverage, and he had a 12.4% stop run rate against Power 5 last year. I mean, you can't argue with that. So I'm wondering if they're thinking, this guy is going to be like the Brockers replacement. I don't know if they're going to put him on the edge, if they're going to have him kind of clog up the middle and then, work with Aleem, him and Hutch. I'm not sure what the thought process there is, but, he was moving up the draft board. I will say that. He had some high spikes here moving up the draft board. Some people had him ranked as high as 48. So, but I told you, Brad Holmes. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Here's a TJ Hawkinson kind of rant or take for you. So TJ the last year, he has the crazy hair, right? He's got the crazy beard, looks like a hippie, whatever. You also just said he can't block. He's not going to do that. When I got all excited about him in the draft, he was this no-nonsense looking corn-fed. Yeah, he'd have fun after a big play, but he'd bury people in the run game. He was a nasty football player that was, they called him like the safest player in the draft because that's sort of, he did everything well, and he could do it all at tight end. Now he's much more of he's a pass catcher, he's offensive weapon. Like, I feel he needs to get back to the blocking game without having a penalty every other time. Tell me if I'm right there. I feel like the hair was a funny gimmick for like a year, but how cool would it be if TJ Hawkinson came to training camp with like a crew cut or a buzzed his hair all off, was all yoked up, and was just like looked like a cyborg. Like, I think that would be fun rather than hippie TJ Hawkinson. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so look, I mean, I think TJ Hawkinson came out and, he did, it was like the new cool hotness, right? Like, he went to the QB camp. What do they call it?
Tight end,
that Kittle, tight end camp that Kittle runs. So he was like a Kittle Jr. wannabe guy. He was like, well, he's a Midwest boy, first of all, and all of a sudden he's like, let's become a California guy. And it just, I don't know, like I was like, okay, cool. He's like that kid that it's like when your 8-year-old goes through a phase and you're like, okay, cool. That's nice. I'd love to see him come to the camp with a buzz cut, maybe a little more ripped and a little less tatted and, ready to go. There's Desmond Ritter, with his wife or girlfriend and his baby there. Happy for that guy, man.
You mean for Mr. Hockenson, more ripped and more tatted? Because he has no tats right now that I'm aware of.
He does. I think he got a couple tats while he was there.
He seems like a tat guy, but I just don't. I think this hair makes him look like a goofball. Like everyone seems to like it under the helmet, but have you ever liked his look in the RSO profile photo or when he's on the promo and it looks like he's got a straight up perm? It looks like my mom's hair from about, back in the day.
You don't like the man bun? You don't like the man bun?
No, that's actually fine when he pulls it back and looks kind of like a caveman. But tell me you haven't seen it when it's curly permed into some type of configuration and it looks like a straight up bouffant haircut that some lady would have. It does not look good. I agree.
No, it doesn't look good. That's why I'm okay with
so it needs
him coming to camp
with
come back with the buzz cut. And let's see what happens. But look, I don't give a shit about what your hair looks like. Just come to camp and be ready to knock some bodies, score some touchdowns, and win some football games. How's that?
All right. So right to that last portion, I thought you were going to give me my first good take of the time. I thought the hair was a good take. It was hey, get rid of this hair, buzz it down, let's get going. And instead you squashed it at the end. You said you don't care about the look. I mean, look good, play good, feel good, pay good.
You're a looks guy. I mean, you like the swag, you like the bling, you like the drip, you like what the kids call, what is it? I said, drip, yeah. I'm more of like dude, I don't care if you have, 2 eyes and, you're purple and, you have a one arm is a foot shorter than the other. If you're a baller and you win me games, I don't care. So,
I don't feel like in my personal I'm a drip / dress up guy, but I do feel like when I see a guy come out on a field with a visor, 2 wristbands, an arm sleeve, he's got swag, he's got some crazy like bling on off the field, or he has that vibe that it's more fun than milquetoast, or the other way when you're not swaggy and you trying crazy hair or trying something stupid and it just doesn't work. It's not the I don't know. I feel like we just need a new Mr. Hockenson. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. Whew. Oh, hey, speaking of that noise you just made, I just loaded up the newest, greatest soundbite here on the soundboard, and it goes something like this.
Oh, yes.
You made that noise yesterday, and I thought it was absolute gold. I wonder if I can double dip it. Triple.
Oh shit! That's
unbelievable.
Great. That's fantastic. Okrie.
To me, there's nothing better than, tell me you do this too, or you did back in the day and still now, when like the dumbest stuff ever was funny with you and your buddies. Like we had a bunch of stuff in college, still with friends that like it's not funny to anybody else, but to me it's funny. Like for some reason the sound bites and some of the things that we've come across throughout the pod or through things that I laugh at, or like I know there's people out there that like that's ridiculous, that's stupid. Like, but for me, that the minute I heard it, my brain just went sound drop. that's gold. You know? So
I mean, look, you got to have a little fun, right? You're getting a little slap happy. You're getting a little slap. Yeah, exactly.
What's better? Let's do the Choppy verse himself. Hold on, let me get it queued up here. We got that. What are the people like? We might have to put a poll out. This or this.
Woo! Hashtag Choppy liking. Woo! Woo! Hashtag Choppy liking.
Oh man, it's close.
Oh baby, that's a hard one to pick a winner. Those are both radio gold.
I'll never forget the pod. It's somewhere in the archives where I fell in love with this one.
Wow.
And I played it like one episode. I probably had about 50 wows, and I was just queuing it to lines. I was dropping. Oh, it was just so funny. Oh,
that's great. Vikings just made their pick, and I totally missed it. Who'd they grab there?
I don't know. I was a little busy.
Oh gosh, did you see? I mean, you got to have a little fun in life, right? If you can't have some funny sound gimmicks, some good bits, some good bites, then what's the point of being alive, right? So,
hey Choppy, let's go up to Roger Goodell and see if we get that last pick from him.
What is your name? Doesn't matter what your name is.
Hey Minnesota, who'd you pick?
What is your name? Doesn't matter what your name is.
There it is. That's hard to believe for people listening. That's actually two different bits, but I play them so tight that it sounds like he's doing it in real time. Incredible.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Ed Ingram is who the Vikings just took. Guard, LSU. Ed Ingram.
Yeah.
Who is this Rudy Poo?
Here it is. Ready? Nakobe Dean declined to have surgery on his shoulder, and now every NFL team has it listed as a major red flag. So he's got a shoulder problem. He refused to have surgery on it, and now basically that's going to cost him. He's going to drop to like the 4th or 5th round, is what it sounds like.
Richard Sherman is saying, why is Malik Willis continue to slide? We don't know either. Sherm, it's a good question.
Richard Sherman just asked that?
See what Raph is saying.
Overall readiness, the leadership, and the maturity. With Malik Willis, everybody loves the talent, but the offense he plays in is so simple. There are questions, how quickly could he get acclimated to the NFL? Could it take 1 year? Could it take
What was his
2 years?
Wonderlic
That
score?
certainly has led to some of the hesitancy with him not getting selected.
All right.
He come out. I want to say he was kind of in the middle, upper of the pack.
The Baltimore Ravens are about to pick. And
How big were his hands?
Kenny Pickett was low, or someone you guys would think. Ritter was low, something like that. Yeah,
No,
Ritter was low.
Strong was really low, I think, is what it was.
Ritter was low. I remember thinking he would be the cyborg smart guy. And it was like he had like a 15 or something.
Passionate Giants fans. I don't know. My buddy
So let me ask you this: with Nakobe Dean and that coming out, is this more of a not do that? Nobody. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get drafted, but if you don't, then you can sort of pick your team. I mean, maybe he wants to go to like someone fancy, like the Cowboys or the Rams or wherever, and.
So let's go. Let's look at the tape, or let's look at the evidence here. He only interviewed with the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Was he, did they, so he interviews with one team and then he refuses to have surgery. He seems to me like he wants to go undrafted, get his surgery, and then go where he wants to go, is what it sounds like to me.
Or because he visited with the Lions, maybe they sat down, had a kumsa, and he was like, hey, we really want you, but you have, we can maybe put this out there and come join us after, and we will make you the centerpiece of our defense.
Just
saying.
That's a theory, Oak. I didn't say it's a good one, but it's a theory. Wouldn't that be considered draft tampering?
Well, I think it's a pretty good conspiracy theory. Nakobe Dean meets with Brad Holmes. He rubs his hands together. He says, we love you, but we need to draft other positions. Nakobe Dean says, cool, I got this shoulder excuse. How about I just don't get it worked on and I don't go visit anywhere else? After the draft, you guys scoop me up, put me in the middle of your defense, put the C on my chest, let's go. And Brad Holmes just gives him that big smile with those big meat hooks and says, we got ourselves a deal, Nakobe. Let's do this.
If you add an allegedly to the end of all that, then I'll agree to it.
Allegedly.
There we go. Yeah, actually sounds pretty legit to me. Well, Oak, it's coming down around now here. We got 9 picks until we go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm waiting to hear your thoughts.
8 picks till we go.
I gave you mine, so waiting to hear where your head's at.
Yeah, if my pick, if he's on the board, is the run stopping linebacker from Wisconsin. Man.
Leo.
Yeah, give me Leo.
You're gonna miss out.
Give me Leo.
You're gonna miss out on your boy Likely.
And if he's gone, I'm going Likely. If he's gone, I'm going Likely. I do like Cross and Joseph. I don't want to get that twisted, but I think they may be there when we pick next after. So.
Arion Winfrey stands out to me weirdly because he's like a top 40 type player, and he's the best overall non-quarterback that I see on our default rankings. I mean, we can't really. Remember, we said before the draft, like maybe they would go with a interior defensive guy, but
we can't after we just took. We cannot go 3D line. We can't.
So one thing about the on the clock stuff is, so you said you were going to take Chanel and you took the safety last. So we're just kind of marrying it up. I haven't looked at it, but
yeah, I'm looking at it now. I went back to back safeties. I went Hutch, Hamilton, and Brisker.
That's not good.
Well, I mean, again, this is based on. Am I making this pick based on what they actually did or based on what I would want? And I have no problem doubling up on safety on that pick anyway. So,
you got 2 good players, but my goal with these live picks is that's going to be the choppy draft that year. So,
yeah. Well, if that's the case, then I have no problem saying safety because we need it.
Well, I think it's overkill, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to explain it that, if I was looking
This is what I would have done. Yeah. I mean, you're basically taking, if I want to end the draft with these guys on my team instead of the other guys.
Yeah, instead of who they got. So, because, if there's a great receiver here at 97, I'm not going to go there because I've already addressed it in my picks. Because you could just go it's the best receiver in this round and that round, but you're not building your core of your draft that year. So, yeah, I've got an edge, a wide out, a safety. I'm kind of wide open. You're going off the team needs, too. This isn't a blank, just take the quarterback at this point. So I'm going to look at main positions we talked about. Get Winfrey in
again. The other position that's out there. The other position that's out there that we still have to address at some point is cornerback, and I'm just kind of going through my couple of my couple of my charts.
It was a guy the
here.
Lions like that I had heard a lot about is this Kirby Joseph. I wouldn't be surprised if they like him a lot and the value kind of matches. They haven't done a safety. Maybe that's their guy.
Yeah. I heard good things about let me see here. I had Tariq Woolen, the cornerback from UTSA, ranked pretty high too. 6'4", 205 senior. I like that guy. I like him too if they were thinking corner.
I mean, that's ridiculous height, weight, and then I think he ran crazy. But
yeah, he was fast.
They as well, but he had a lot of buzz as like a trades guy. I mean, that means to you.
Oh shit! Tampa just picked. I didn't even see it.
Like Amara Barno is an edge linebacker type that would test it crazy too.
Oh shoot! They just took Rashad White. Yeah, Rashad White. Tampa just took Rashad White.
Ooh, he's a very interesting running back, bro. He's they like catch, big bodied, like kind of like maybe incorrect, but I want to say he's like how David Johnson was coming out.
For the Bucks, though, I mean, dude, when are they ever gonna cut or let? I don't know. Okay.
Those traits type running backs that you take, and Tom Brady, what's he always done? He always have like 5 to 6 running backs that all do something and he uses them decent.
Yeah, no, that's true. Did we even rank our running backs? We did rank running backs here. He was the other white.
Kobe Bryant is a guy that had a lot of early buzz, that not just based on his name and stuff, but Senior Bowl guy, kind of that tough defense if you wanted to consider a corner.
I'm looking at this wide receiver or this running backs, and there's so many guys left.
Yeah. Kyron Williams would have been more of a Tom Brady, like, throw it to him type of guy.
Yep. Agreed. Oh, there they go. Niners just took Tyron Davis Price. Wow. We had him. Why? Oh, shoot. I completely missed the Pack. Dude, they're going so fast right now. I totally missed the Packers pick now. Who'd the Packers take? The Packers took Sean Ryan, guard from UCLA.
Did you do much work like on Chenal? Did you pull him up? Do you think he's a fit for this defense?
Yes, he is. He's a run stopper specialist. He's just a fucking animal.
He's a monster size wise, and he can run right, but the Lions want big, heavy middle linebackers. I don't know.
Well, you got some shiftier, rushier guys on the outside. I think he's a good stuffer in the middle, and you can let your other linebackers, do their business on the outside. think he's like the highest rated linebacker against the run. PFF.
So here's one thing I look at when you bring stuff like that up, or just when we're comparing. So again, these aren't our hand-picked, detailed rankings, but he's overall 90, kind of where we have him, or what I'm looking at. The next backer that I see that's kind of a inside guy is 130. You also have the Brandon Smith, who's kind of a more athletic outside backer at 83. Mm-hmm. So Smith actually the higher ranked in this listing, but the next middle is quite a bit down. If you go over to the tight ends, you're at Otten is 65, likely in the 70s. Likely is likely in the 70s or so, and then you've got my boy Charlie Kolar down at 105. So kind of figuring those drop-offs, which one is more or less. Do you trust them, and is it a big deal if you pick one position and then the other guy goes and now you've lost 40 spots in an overall rankings? Something to think about.
Yeah.
So if you take Chenal, does he play? He plays like next to, or he's in the middle, and Barnesy's on the outside? Because I'm all in on Derek Barnes. I'm here to tell you. I feel like we just did not see what he can do. I'm ready to unleash him.
I mean, I was ready to unleash him last year, and we didn't. So. These commercial breaks are saving my ass, by the way, with how fast things are going.
Crazy, isn't it? Like when we do the walkthrough, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, I'll click some boxes and update, and then it does kind of just get haywire. I kind of quit on my maneuvering just because I'm zeroed in now on the Lions, and then I'll get it caught up either later or once this round is over,
Yep.
But you're like you said, you're doing good, or the one or two people working the sheet, you kind of gotta try to keep up. Matt Corral to the Panthers, good, because I didn't want that bitch. He got mocked a lot to the Lions,
Yeah, I saw that a lot. I did not.
Almost like somebody knew something, and I'm like, there's something I don't like about this guy.
Yeah, I was not big on him at all. Not at all. Okay. All right, Matt Corral.
Who's got buzz too at linebacker is this Tyndale kid from Georgia. He's not one that I spent a ton of time on, but late buzz saying he's real good, real athletic, kind of getting lost in the shuffle. This is that swing that I talked about. This is the whoever we take, good luck getting the next guy at 177.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge pick. You got to determine what is that you really think we need. So, because you're not getting another pick for a while. You're going to be sitting around watching 70 some players go, before you go again. So.
I think I think our coordinator, like we said, he just gave him a bunch of love. I feel like he may love Sam Howell, especially at this point. 97 Sam Howell, I know you don't want one at all, but I don't love Sam Howell from a personality perspective, or I don't know if he's a good leader or face the franchise, but I kind of like some of his skill set. now.
Now this is what I'll tell you, Oakley. He's accurate. He's not mobile, but you don't need to be behind our O-line. If you put a gun to my head and said, Chops, you need to take a quarterback not named, but you have to take a quarterback that's going to be the face of your, is going to be your franchise quarterback, and put him in instead of Goff right now. Sam Howell was my guy. Would have been my pick after Malik. At this point in the draft, absolutely. But I don't have a gun to my head, so I'm not taking him.
Wonder if the school.
Oh man, here we go. Geez, we're at pick 95 and it's already in. So
not as good as the original.
No, I'll get you something here. I got to get another good sound bite here. I'm working on one here.
I think I could match your Wooly if I really put my mind to it, because I've heard you do that before, and I think I can do it, but I don't know. Woo-wee! Woo-wee! I mean, it's similar.
It's aight.
It might be a drop. All right, so we're a couple picks away. I'm still undecided here, but I'm narrowing it down. I'm not panicking under the clock here.
Well, you better start panicking, because at some point you gotta, make like a tree and do something.
I'm aware. I'm talking to Brad. I'm talking to Danny Campbell, seeing what we want to do, seeing if anybody calls.
Da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. Oh yeah. Again, the Bengals are just completely ignoring their O-line issues, which is cracking me up. Do you think do you think that your franchise quarterback is going to be able to take you to the Super Bowl again if he's on his ass, 80 times a season? Oh, geez, the Colts are picking? Cross. They just snuck in there and got Cross.
Mm.
Oh, they got Cross with me. All right. We need it, We need it, Oak. I can't.
I'm aware.
Are you aware? I'm going Chanel. Chanel's my guy.
Oh, I'm torn between two guys. I'm kind of thinking about who the Lions have, and makes the most sense. Nick Cross, man. Guy, he won me over just how he operated.
Well, we're gonna
you're
lucky we're getting the commercial break here, because I'm just telling you what's going to happen is you're going to be him and Han. They're going to announce the pick, and they're going to go, well, no, I was going to take this guy. And then, and it's like, okay, cool. It doesn't count because you didn't say it in time. So.
Oh, Choppy, the pick is in.
Chris, yeah, of course it is. Chris Cross will make you a pick.
I just tweeted it out. I'm taking K-Dot and tight end Washington here.
That's your guy, huh? Okay.
Don't feel like we have any depth behind Mr. Hockenson. I read up on this kid. He's like he's a put your hand in the ground, stand up, block, catch. Just seems like a prototype type tight end. I like his ranking. The other guy that I was considering was Perrion Winfrey as a 3-tech, and he's much highly rated. He's comes from a big school. I didn't like any of the other DTs necessarily, but I feel like I'm just going to get by with Aleem, Brockers, Big Denim, Panasini, and whoever else inside.
So you're officially taking Cade, huh?
Yes. Yep. It's been tweeted, and then my dynasty pick is going to be Kyron Williams, running back. I wrote down, and then you don't care about, but I need to get that in as well.
I don't. You hit it. I don't care.
But it's so. Oh, take a look at the tab someday. It's kind of fun. I think we started in 2017. I've had a lot of misses there, but I think I drafted DK. I drafted DPJ. There's a couple fun names on there that I did get when I was building from scratch, and it's not like a fill the team out thing, but I'm still trying to areas I haven't addressed at all over a 4-year span. I'm trying to get decent players. You know what I mean? So it's something.
All right.
But
are you going to the live audio, or what are you doing?
Went to Kyle Brandt. He's probably going to talk for 10 minutes. I like Kyle Brandt from Jim Rome, but he gets...
Rosie and Peter, I feel like after that I got invited over to Johnny Carson's couch. Like I'm Paul Poundstone, and you guys said, come on over. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. You get to do panel now. Yeah, I can chime in, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. It's an awesome moment. Awesome moment.
My reason for maybe not doing Kate Otten was there's probably 5 to 6 tight ends I like still. Oh. But I just looked down at my phone. I've got the pick.
Yep.
Popped up.
Why would you do that?
I was glancing around and I saw it. I think you're going to like it. I think it's going to be a hashtag.
I think you got to stop cheating and quit looking at the. You got to quit looking
Brand
for it.
So
are they finally going to address
gimmick here?
All right, I'm going to tell you who I think it is. I'm looking at the board. I think in Brad Holmes, I already chose 2 safeties, so I'm thinking Brad Holden's going to take a safety. And since Nick Cross just came off the board, I got to go to the old choppy board, and it's going to be the safety from Illinois. Kirby Joseph is who I think they're taking. Oh, Burry's going to make the pick too.
I think I said Syracuse, but Illinois. Kirby. That's your pick, man.
That's who I think they're going to take.
And with the 97th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Kirby Joseph.
Oh! Hashtag Choppy Likey. Hashtag Choppy is the man. Hashtag Choppy and Brad Holmes are on the same page. Called it.
Hashtag Choppy Likey.
I like it. Ball hawk. Range. I don't care what he does against the run. Nice.
I mean, not that I need credit, but I did say that a long time ago. You did nail it once I gave you the hashtag Choppy Likey cue card. But that makes a lot of sense for what they've done. You know what I mean? Based on our picks, we had already addressed it. But hell yeah, Kirby Joseph. I had heard they loved him. Certain people like his game. This is about where he should go. Hell yeah.
Yep. Not a reach. I had him ranked. We had him ranked 70. We just got him at 97.
Kirby boy, Kirby boy.
Yep. 8 takeaways, tied for the most in football last year. I mean, dude, come on.
We need takeaways.
Great repick.
Hell yeah.
We need takeaways. I'll take his. He's a little bit soft against the run, but I'll take it. He's going to be hawking out there, and maybe he can show Tracy Walker how to play some safety.
The boy Brad Holmes, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yep. Way to go. That is a hashtag Choppy Likey. That is this draft. We're killing it. And that's just great stuff. Just damn great stuff, okay? It's nice when they take the person that we have the next, you know what I mean? Sometimes I get it, okay, cool, they were thinking linebacker, and I thought safety, but for them to just to grab the guy in your category who you had listed at the top just makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. Mm-hmm. So I had Kirby Joseph actually above Nick Cross, so woo, love it.
Yep, it's definitely fun that way, and what else I see every year too is with that second rounder, they kind of picked a guy a little off our radar, but no, we didn't hate it, but there was definite silence. Like, I'm not sure. And then you watch his tape and you read, hey, it makes sense for these reasons, right? You justify it. But then when they come back and get another player at a position of need that you had heard about or you do think is going to have some upside, it kind of like cures the other one and makes them both feel good now.
Yep. Nope. Good. And I'm glad they went defense there. I mean, I know you were thinking tight end because the depth behind Hawkinson, but I like that we stuck with defense. And I really think one of those tight ends is gonna tumble and be there for us that we might like later on, whether it's Ruckett, Likely, or Otten. Someone will be down there in the next pick, and we can swoop in.
Let's do this. Let's at least get us out of here on the summary. So day 2, Josh Pascal didn't rile us up, but didn't make us angry. I think in him and Kirby Joseph, I just opened my YouTube and Kirby was doing his interview, and you want to talk about swag and a guy that looks like he's probably a no nonsense, grimy, gritty safety. That was Kirby. He had some crazy gear on and looked like he was ready. So, what's your general take of day 2? Because to me, this is the most important day of the draft. It really is. And I feel like even though they're not the guys we necessarily picked, like, I don't mind either of these guys. I think they're both productive contributors, and they'll just have to earn their spot type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the word of the day was defense, right? Defense. When the pick 46 came out, we were both kind of like, okay, Pascal. Like we both said, we both knew he was moving up the board. Again, from a school we didn't watch a ton of film on, but the more I looked up into him and kind of started to think about where Brad Holmes was coming from taking him there, I liked the pick. Really solidifying that D line with, an aging Brockers. And, I think he's labeled an edge, but I don't necessarily see him as just a straight edge kind of guy, coming off the edge kind of guy every time. So that made sense. And then again, you address one of the biggest needs that I think this team had and hasn't addressed and fixed yet was the safety position. So, to me, Kirby was the best safety in the spot, so we took him. Happy to hear that Brad Holmes agreed with both you and I that he was the best safety available at 97. Was kind of sad that a few guys, came off the board right ahead of us, but it is what it is. You took what you wanted and got a good guy there. You got a player, another guy with personality, a guy we had ranked higher than what he went. I'm glad you didn't get suckered into, thinking about Malik when he was there the first time around, or that kind of stuff, or the stuff came out about Nakobe Dean. So I think you stuck to your game plan, right? You took guys that are going to be, I anticipate both of these guys are going to be pushing to start. So, this is a good pick, a good haul for us. And again, I know sometimes people get stuck into the best player available, but we didn't necessarily do that, and we went with biggest team need. And and again, I think it worked out well. So I'm excited for this group here, and collectively as a whole. You got the one wide receiver who the best wide receiver in the draft when healthy, and then you got 3 key cogs on defense, which was again what we all know we needed. So, day 3 is going to be exciting. Rounds 4 through 7. I can't wait. I'm expecting some more defenders. I'm expecting maybe a tight end and maybe an interior O-line depth guy later on. But no, I think the draft is going exactly how I would have liked it. 1 wide receiver and a bunch of defense. So can't argue with what they've done here in the last 2 days.
Well, man, you summed it up real well. So I just want to, before we get up out of here, I just want to say thank you to you, man. I know you gave me some dap the other day. Like, you spent 2 days, 10 hours doing this. We worked together. We made some picks. I know you got some family and some different things going on. So I'll probably take the reins either on the Google Sheet or just pause the Google Sheet and work my scouting office this year. And then I'm hoping that we can put our heads together and come up with a game plan and just carve out time in our busy lives to do this, but maybe make some tweaks and changes so that we can not only whoop it up, but figure out what system works for the Oakery Choppy GM, co-GM setup to be better next year and to keep drafting for the Lions and whooping up Brad Holmes and Dan freaking Campbell, because I think we got a football team, man. So I just want to say I appreciate it, and it's been fun, and I'll take the reins tomorrow and try to get it done too.
Yeah, no, good point, Oak. I mean, look, I had some family stuff come up tomorrow. Unfortunately, we had a passing in the family, and so it was not going to be a fun day tomorrow. I would have much rather been sitting here doing draft stuff with you, but we gotta pay our respects and someone on Melissa's family. So, but no, this has been a fantastic 10, 12 hours that we've put into this. I know both of us stayed up late last night watching more tape on the guys that we got. I'll probably end up sitting here laying in bed for the next 2 hours watching more tape on the two guys we just took here. But no, this is good stuff, good content. Love to do the entertaining thing for the people. Absolutely love to just go out there and do some fun stuff for you. Lots of hard work was put into the tabs with the Google Sheet, and hopefully the people enjoyed it, and hopefully the people enjoyed the podcast that was laid out there earlier today. The mega mix and the hot take with our boy Joey, with our boy. Joey Sports Guy, and love to hopefully get in a show there. We can do a little mock draft round table after post draft show would be fun too. So no, man, appreciate it. Keep putting out the good content. Keep bringing it for the people. And I'll do my best to jump in here and have some hot takes there and make some people laugh too.
Yes, sir. I got Kirby Joseph tape running while you're finishing up there. I'm drinking that Kool-Aid.
Drink it in, man.
Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Choppy, you think I should make it a double?
Make it a double.
Cornbread!
And Choppy, if you were to hashtag this draft so far, what might you give it?
Oh man, I'd have to give that a real strong hashtag Choppy Likey.
Woo! Hashtag Choppy Likey.
Woo! All right, buddy. We'll get up out of here. We'll catch you guys next time here on the Koolaid Cast, man. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.